I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
There's nothing more effective than 19-year-olds educating the rest of the voting public while yelling, "Okay, boomer."
Gal Gadot has apparently found herself in the middle of Disney's latest soap opera, and the plot twist? She's out of a major production. Gasp. Rumor has it she's pointing fingers at Rachel Zegler like it's a live-action game of Clue, and industry folks are totally blindsided.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about
she's gonna die.
true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
Meanwhile, the Snow White 2025 extravaganza is trudging ahead, wrapped in enough controversy and backstage chaos to make a reality show jealous. It's basically Disney's version of a stress test, and Bob Iger and his board are getting front row seats, whether they like it or not. Disney's really out here producing more drama off-screen than on it.
The fact that it's about the humanity and it's about nature as well, and it's a beautiful story about an amazing girl who wants to find the true self of hers.
The studio's been juggling public meltdowns, endless reshoots, and the charming prospect of a full-blown box office flop. Enter Gal Gadot, once the crown jewel of this cinematic fairy tale, now seemingly done playing nice in what's become the least magical production in recent memory. And then there's the totally chill and not at all awkward dynamic between Gal and Rachel Zegler. Word on the street, these two got along like oil and water at a vegan dinner party. Insiders claim they couldn't agree on anything, from how to interpret Snow White to how not to look like they hated each other at public events. At first, everyone assumed it was just your average diva duel, but nope, it was a slow-motion train wreck. The Oscars? Oh, that was the cherry on top. The pair stood on stage with all the warmth of two exes forced to share a cab. Naturally, that did wonders to calm rumors. As the film limped along through rewrites, reshoots, and a full PR panic, the spotlight shifted from the fairy tale to the feud. Disney might have aimed for happily ever after, but what they got was more like mutually assured destruction. Ah yes, nothing screams smooth production like Disney executives caught in a tug-of-war between dueling Snow Whites. On one side, you've got Rachel Zegler trying to give the 1937 classic a 2025 TikTok remix, and on the other, someone, cough Gal Gadot cough, hoping to keep a smidge of the original fairy tale magic alive. Naturally, this visionary clash went about as well as you'd expect, by splitting the fanbase right down the middle. Rachel's brilliant plan to modernize Snow White, applauded by some, sure, but also managed to summon the wrath of half the internet, complete with torches, pitchforks, and think pieces galore. And while fans battled it out online, Disney execs retreated to their crisis bunker, also known as yet another emergency boardroom meeting, where Bob Iger and the gang apparently had to figure out whether keeping Gal Gadot was worth the price tag and the PR headaches. Then came the plot twist no one saw coming, except everyone. Whispers that Gal's role was getting quietly axed. Was it about saving money, managing PR, cleaning up the mess before the $300 million monster of a budget went completely off the rails? Who's to say? But hey, nothing brings the magic like boardroom panic, fandom meltdowns, and a princess story rewritten more times than a tax loophole. The stakes? Only astronomically high. It was the perfect storm. Creative chaos, clashing egos, and the looming threat of a fairy tale flop. Everything from the film's shaky creative direction to the personal brands of its stars hung in the balance like an overpriced chandelier at a theme park gala. Then came the whispers, Gal Gadot was out. The entertainment world lit up before Disney could even slap together an official press release. Because of course, nothing says, we totally have this under control, like your lead actress vanishing mid-campaign. According to the rumor mill, which at this point might as well have a verified badge, Gal was politely but firmly told to skip certain promo events. Translation, we'd love for you to attend. Just kidding, please don't. Apparently, execs decided that having her anywhere near a microphone was a liability they couldn't afford, not with the press just itching to dig into her alleged Cold War with Rachel Zegler. Then came the supposed high-level showdown, one of those meetings where million-dollar smiles hide billion-dollar headaches. Sources claim that after weighing the pros and cons of babysitting a fractured on-set dynamic, the studio ultimately chose the path of least resistance. Bye-bye, Gal. Unsurprisingly, she didn't take the news with a polite curtsy and a farewell wave. Nope, Insiders say she was livid, especially since she believed, not entirely without reason, that her global star power was the only thing keeping some viewers even remotely interested in yet another glossy live-action remake of a cartoon from 1937. So, there you have it. One of Hollywood's biggest names quietly shown the door, all in the name of damage control, and maybe a few fewer awkward red carpet moments. Because if there's one thing Disney doesn't want in its happily ever after, it's a headline reading Snow White and the power struggle no one asked for. According to whispers echoing through the entertainment grapevine, someone apparently just realized the original Snow White cartoon came out in, brace yourself, 1937. Shocking, truly. And in what may be the hottest of hot takes, it's being pointed out that the film very clearly focuses on a love story involving a guy who stalks her. Groundbreaking analysis, really. Naturally, this deep cinematic revelation became a cornerstone of Rachel Zegler's entire PR tour, much to Gal Gadot's apparent horror. Gal, bless her, reportedly traced the entire dumpster fire back to Zegler's visionary approach, the one where she critiques the source material that built the franchise she's starring in. From Zegler's edgy takes on toxic tropes to those oh-so-charming public interviews where she seemed to be actively daring the internet to cancel her, Gal allegedly felt that Rachel had turned Disney's press team into a full-time damage control unit. And the cherry on top? This PR storm in Gal's eyes put everyone involved, herself included, at risk. Meanwhile, gossip blogs and industry analysts practically had a feeding frenzy. Forget box office projections, everyone was too busy playing Hollywood Clue, who killed the Snow White promo tour? As analysts scrambled to interpret what this meant for the already teetering project, one thing became crystal clear. Whatever Snow White 2025 was supposed to be, it had now become a masterclass in how to turn fairy tale magic into an HR nightmare. The final act of this drama, because what would a Disney debacle be without a few last-minute, maybe she'll still show up rumors to keep things extra spicy? Some optimists suggested Gal Gadot might still sneak into the final cut via cameo, assuming her scenes weren't already buried under the avalanche of reshoots. And right in the eye of the storm, Rachel Zegler, now carrying the unofficial title of Most Blamed Person in a production gone sideways. Supporters of Gadot practically rolled out their own red carpet of blame, arguing that Zegler's enthusiastic dismantling of the original Snow White, plus her delightfully polarizing hot takes on social media, had turned a simple adaptation into a high-stakes cultural battlefield. Behind closed doors, though, things weren't so picture-perfect. Disney execs were reportedly scrambling to plug PR leaks faster than a sinking cruise ship. Bob Iger, once again the reluctant fairy godfather of the mess, is apparently trying to figure out how to polish this pumpkin back into a carriage. The movie was supposed to be a glittering return to form, a love letter to Disney's golden age. Instead, it's become a cautionary tale for the ages. In the end, Gal Gadot's very public departure became more than just a casting change. It became a symbol, a flashing neon sign reading, "Creative disasters ahead." Her presence could have offered some much-needed star power and promotional gold, but instead, her exit will be remembered as the moment Snow White 2025 officially lost its footing.